Before I call the honourable member for Kawana, I remind the House that this is the member's first speech. I ask the House, therefore, to extend all the courtesies to him on this important occasion for him. The honourable member for Kawana.
Mr. Speaker, what an enormous privilege it is to rise in this chamber as the new member for Kawana. An enormous privilege and a great responsibility. I thank the voters of Kawana electorate for having the confidence they've placed in me to be their representative. At the outset, may I congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, on your election to your high office. You have now moved out of the ruck into the referee's role, and you can be sure that those on this side of the House will give you our full support in your duty to ensure that the Parliament always prevails over the executive government of the day. I acknowledge Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Australia, who provides such a distinguished example of public service to us all, and to the Sovereign's representative in this state, Her Excellency the Governor. When I look around at my LNP colleagues, it gives me great sense of pride and enthusiasm to be involved in a political party with such a diverse range of peoples, varying in age and experiences. I thought upon my election to this House that I may have possibly been the youngest member to serve in this 53rd Queensland Parliament, but that title goes to the member for Morayfield. I can say, however, with excitement and pride, that I am the youngest Conservative member of the 53rd Queensland Parliament. I envisage that my youth will bring to this House a fresh perspective, and I can particularly stand up in this House and bring to the attention of the House the plight of young Queenslanders. Someone said to me soon after the election day that I must feel a great sense of achievement. I pondered that for a while and decided that no, I don't feel a sense of achievement, because that means that personal ambition is the most important thing. But I do feel a profound sense of responsibility. I remember when studying political science, learning about the different political philosophies and whether members of Parliament are elected to be delegates or representatives. I will not breach the rules of inaugural speeches by being too political controversial, except to say that it is my very firm belief that all of us in this chamber, regardless of any political party that we represent and regardless of any office that we hold, are representatives for our constituents. The complexity of the issues that come before us mean that we have an obligation to research and study important issues, and then ultimately, in our party room discussions and on the floor of this chamber, vote for what we think is in the best interest of our constituents and the people of Queensland. One of the guiding lights for me in this journey that has led me to take place in this chamber has been the support of my wife Sally and the love and support of our two daughters, Taylor and Madison. During the campaign, when the day might not have gone as well as I would have liked, I knew that when I returned home, it was to an oasis of unconditional love and support. Unconditional, but not, I hasten to say, uncritical. We all know that sometimes it is our family members, and I include my extended family, who ground us, and it is the most important aspect. I've lived on the Sunshine Coast for most of my life. The Sunshine Coast is a fantastic region, with the Kawana electorate one of its jewels in its crown, offering a wonderful mix of lifestyle, business and tourism opportunities, and is the perfect place to raise a family. I completed my schooling on the Sunshine Coast at Caloundra Primary and Caloundra State High School respectively, and then studied arts, majoring in politics at the University of the Sunshine Coast, before completing my law degree at QUT in Brisbane. Can I say, Mr. Speaker, how proud I am to have the University of the Sunshine Coast, a first-class university, in my electorate. Along the way, I balanced my study with an involvement in a wide variety of local organisations and community groups. And in that role, but more sharply since my pre-selection and during the campaign, I've been constantly reminded that volunteering is the glue that holds our communities together, and we must do more to recognise and acknowledge our wonderful volunteers. It is with some trepidation, Mr. Speaker, that I admit to the House that prior to coming to this chamber, I was a practising lawyer. I'm constantly reminded during the campaign trail of lawyers, and they often asked me, "Jarrod, what do you call 100 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean?" And I didn't know, and they always said it was a good start. But quite seriously, Mr. Speaker, I hope that my legal training will help me in working to the best of my ability for the people of Kawana. Apart from my professional work, I've been fortunate to be a Rotarian, and when I was preparing this speech for tonight, I thought that the motto of Rotary International, service above self, which was the guiding principle of our founder of Rotary, Paul Harris, is not a bad principle to follow as a Member of Parliament. I've also been lucky enough to be involved as a board director of Mercy Ships of Australia. Some members might have seen the movie Blood Diamond, which highlights the purpose of Mercy Ships Global Charity. The aim of the charity is to fund hospital ships to go to devastated countries like Sierra Leone and Liberia to help them get back on their feet and to provide immediate and self-contained hospital in places which often have no public infrastructure. It is a relatively simple idea, and the principle of hospital ships in the naval service is of course well established, but the profile of Mercy Ships Australia is not as high as it could be. I hope to be able to tell people more about this organisation and the life-saving work that it does when the opportunities arise. It certainly deserves public support. Australia is by some merit a secular country, by which I mean that we not have any state-sanctioned religion, and that is the very important decision taken not only by our founding fathers, but our federation, but adhered to in colonial Queensland and in other colonies before 1901. However, having said that, and having made clear that I strongly support the right of people to profess their faith, or indeed profess no faith at all, I would like to lay down some of my own personal principles. Australia is predominantly a Christian country, and Queensland is predominantly a Christian state. We begin sittings of this House with a prayer which encompasses the Judeo-Christian tradition. For myself, I am not bashful about declaring that I am a practising Christian. I'm an elder of the Kawana Waters Uniting Church, and worship and church activities play a major part in our life. And I'm sure that it will sustain me in this new role. One of the major factors, Mr. Speaker, that encouraged me to run for public office was in 2006. I was involved in the Caloundra City Future Leaders program run by the Caloundra City Youth Partnership and now the Sunshine Coast Youth Partnership Incorporated. This program was inspired by former Mayor Don Aldis and Mrs. Heather Aldis. Don and Heather had a passion for youth on the Sunshine Coast and seeking to strengthen the skills and qualities of young people. The Future Leaders program was based on leadership, development, career mentoring, project management, sharing wisdom and making new connections. A major part of that program was building community spirit. We had to manage a local community project in our area, the Kawana electorate, and my project was Know Your Neighbour. I was challenged to come up with a project in my local area to bring my community together.